Me voy a presentar, soy Jaime Muro, presidente de la Asociación de Amigos de la Universidad de Tel Aviv en México. O sea, representamos a los intereses de la Universidad en México, en beneficio de la Universidad de Tel Aviv en México, en beneficio de México y de Israel. Agradecemos a la Secretaría de Economía, al INADEM, la coordinación de Fejer Fejer, el que nos haya incluido y nos haya invitado a participar en la Semana del Emprendedor con varias conferencias, entre ellas la que van a escuchar el día de hoy. Quien va a presentar la conferencia es el presidente de la universidad, el profesor Klafter. El profesor es director de la universidad desde 2009. Dentro de su currículum tiene escritos más de 400 artículos científicos, ha editado 18 libros y es coautor de Primeros Pasos en Random Walks. En 2011, la Academia Americana de las Artes y las Ciencias lo eligió miembro honorario y también es miembro de la Sociedad Americana de Física. Ha ganado numerosos premios de prestigio en su campo, incluyendo el Premio Alexander von Humboldt, el Premio Rothschild de Química y el Premio de la Sociedad Química de Israel. También posee un doctorado honorario en la Universidad Tecnológica de Wrocław, en Polonia. El profesor Klafter completó su licenciatura y maestría en la Universidad Bar-Ilan y su doctorado en Química en la Universidad de Tel Aviv. El profesor el día de hoy nos va a platicar cómo la Universidad de Tel Aviv aporta en toda la transformación de innovación tecnológica y de emprendedurismo del Estado de Israel y cómo conecta la universidad con toda la vida pública del Estado. Please, Mr. Professor Klafter, welcome. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
The mic, and you have a mic.
Yes. So, good evening to everyone, the organizers and sponsors of this outstanding event, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming, for staying that late. I'm delighted to be, first of all, in Mexico, and also to be here today to share with you some thoughts about the special and unique brand of entrepreneurship and innovation, the Israeli innovation and entrepreneurship spirit. And also to describe to you the role of the university, my university, Tel Aviv University, in Israel's well-known startup success. So what makes Israel unique? To begin with, Israelis are a questioning people. No matter what you say, they'll always ask you why. No matter what has been done, we think we can do it better or faster or cheaper as a matter of principle. No matter how difficult the problem or how limited the resources, we will find an ingenious solution. And mostly, no matter how many times we hear no, we refuse to accept it and will ask, why not? This ethos, the ethos of being contrary to everything, combined with the inventiveness and determination, is the same ethos that actually drove the early pioneers of Israel. They took the desert and made it actually bloom. And in our modern days, this is the same ethos of the Israeli high-tech ecosystem. Now, a stubborn national character is all well and good, but it can only go so far. You also need some knowledge infrastructure. Here are a couple of figures that will be very instructive. First, the greater Tel Aviv area, where the university is, has the highest number of engineers per capita in the world. Second, according to the latest Global Innovation Index, which was released very recently, Israel ranks first in the world in research and development. And to define it a little bit more precisely, this is the first out of 141 countries. You begin to see the picture here. It's a small but very, I would say, active and energetic country with rock-hard base of knowledge workers and knowledge output. And this is where Tel Aviv University plays a key role. We are actually chief among Israeli universities that are training the engineers, conducting the research and development, producing the entrepreneurs, and generally fueling and feeding the Israeli tech system and industry. I will tell you a little bit about this ecosystem, but before a few words about Tel Aviv University. We are a public institution. We will be 60 years old next year. We are the largest university in Israel with 125 schools and departments across the spectrum of humanities, arts, and sciences, and 30,000 students. We also have the largest biomedical research teaching complex in the country, with 17 affiliated hospitals and 1,400 affiliated doctors. In terms of rankings, I think that the three most significant rankings in my talk, or related to my talk, are as follows. First, Tel Aviv University was just named by Reuters the #1 innovation university in Israel and among the top 100 in the world. Second, Tel Aviv University leads Israel and ranks 29th in the world among academic institutions for the number of patents. And third, Tel Aviv University ranks 9th among the world's leading universities in producing graduates that successfully raise venture capital for their startups. Or in other words, we are among the top 10 in nurturing entrepreneurs. Now, as I mentioned, Tel Aviv University is a state-funded public university. So we are not a private, wealthy university that can really invest millions or sometimes billions of dollars in academics and research. So how do we do it? How do we do it? How do we cultivate a globally recognized culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, and which translates into patents, viable technologies, and new companies for the State of Israel? The secret to our thriving ecosystem, I believe, lies in 5 core conditions, and I'll describe them briefly. First of all, what we call location, location, location. Our location is in Israel's biggest city, Tel Aviv, and just to give you some proportion, the metropolitan of the city of Tel Aviv fits into greater Mexico City 6 times. So indeed, the entire population of Israel is less than half of the population of Mexico City. Tel Aviv is the undisputed high-tech capital of Israel. It was named the 2nd most innovative city in the world by Wall Street Journal. It is multicultural, multilingual, pluralistic, and cosmopolitan. It is adamantly, I would say, freedom-affirming. And plus, when you visit, there is a beautiful beach. In short, it is where every talented person wants to be. It's in Israel Economic and Cultural Center. And in the center of that center lies Tel Aviv University. The second condition is what I would call interdisciplinary chutzpah. Chutzpah is a word that we use in Hebrew. It's borrowed from Yiddish, and it means something like audacity. So we have at Tel Aviv University a tremendous openness towards audacious even crazy combinations of ideas, as well as readiness to climb over the fences and that separate between disciplines. Namely, we break boundaries among the different disciplines at the university. Our professors and students can combine anything with anything. Really, you can study math with East Asian studies. You can study biology with management, archaeology and physics. And as a matter of fact, one of the speakers in this event, one of the founders of Waze, Uri Levin, who was here a few days ago, who is a graduate of Tel Aviv University and whose company was sold to Google for over $1 billion, he combined economics and philosophy in his studies at Tel Aviv University. In the research sphere, not only we do promote collaboration through a number of interdisciplinary framework, but we physically put or throw people together in one space in order to spark exchanges of ideas and novel collaborations. For instance, our Nano Center, which has 70 groups at the university from 24 departments, they work together this way and actually love it. One of our leading nanoscientists is Professor Dan Peer, who spoke, I think, yesterday, who's here in Mexico City. He's part of our delegation here. He combines nanotechnology with biomedical research to create a new class of nanodrugs for treating cancer and stomach conditions. He has founded a startup that was actually a spring-off from the university. Somebody who spoke about an hour ago here is Dr. Tal Dvir, also part of the delegation, who combines nano and heart disease research, combining cardiac cells with nanofibers made out of gold, and Dr. Dvir has developed a sophisticated cardiac patch that could be used by doctors to replace damaged heart tissues. In the neuroscience, another strong interdisciplinary area at the university, we have zoologists who works with live bats, the flying mice, yes, in a new field which is called neuroecology. His team has designed the world's smallest GPS that is so miniature that he can attach it to the flying bats and study their motion. And this can lead, these findings that he finds in bats and using the GPS, could be incorporated into navigated techniques from blind people, and also can be used for recognition by robots whenever we would like to use them. Similarly, our fertile interdisciplinary atmosphere is breeding novel ideas and invention in other research areas such as cyber, material science, and many other areas. So the interdisciplinary, combining and breaking the barriers is one of the key, I would say, prescriptions for innovation and new ideas. The third condition for a robust innovation ecosystem, from our experience, is academic-industrial synergy. This is critical in our efforts at Tel Aviv University to ensure the flow of information between academia, business, and government. Israel, in general, has a good showing in this parameter. According to Global Competitiveness Report by the World Economic Forum, Israel ranks 8th in the world for university-industry collaboration in research and development. For comparison, the US ranks number 3, Mexico number 44, and Argentina 61. So indeed, Israel's economic success rests on the presence of some of the world's best research institutions that are attuned to the needs of the business and technology sectors. Tel Aviv University has partners partners for years with top multinational and Israeli companies such as Intel, HP, Microsoft, Google, Johnson & Johnson, Teva, and Israel Aircraft Industries. These companies set up labs on our campus. They give our students scholarships and internships. They recruit our graduates. They commission major research projects. And sometimes they license our technologies from commercial development through the university's technology transfer company, which is called Ramot. Our engineering faculty, headed by Professor Yossi Rosenblatt, who I saw him here a few minutes ago, or he's there, who is here with the Israeli delegation, has an industrial affiliates program that works with prominent companies, his faculty with the companies, to advance the future of Israeli industry. Similarly, our Nano Center, Computer Science School, each has a well-developed industrial affiliates program of its own. And this last year, our Neuroscience School also launched a cooperative initiative with industry, which they call Brain Boost. 15 neuroscience companies have already joined this network. So this is very, very vital, I would say, again, for innovation and discovering or realizing real world problems by combining and cooperating with industry. Now, working with industry also has another side. Tel Aviv University has increasingly become business-minded in its operation. Our intellectual property, IP, company Ramot, takes laboratory discoveries with the potential for commercialization and either creates startups to develop further the ideas or markets the technology to larger industries. And this can, of course, in return, create real-world products. Currently, the university has 40 active startups in a spectrum of fields, and we have 22 drugs and medical technologies in the development pipeline. Something also which is unique to the university, we have pioneered a $24 million fund, which is called the Momentum Fund, for institutional and private investors interested in supporting commercially promising university technologies in a wide range of fields. Their funding is the academic equivalent of what we know as angel investment in high-potential scientific startups. Our two lead investors are among the largest companies in the world. One is the Indian conglomerate Tata, and the other one is Singapore government investment company Temasek. With vital funding from our industry partners, who also keep the university focused on market needs, 36 novel Tel Aviv University technologies are now being readied for commercialization. These include new drugs, powerful batteries, a new type of super wheat, yes, the crops, technology for fighting cyber piracy, and much more. And now, a fourth condition for a healthy entrepreneurial environment, which I will also touch upon briefly, is what I call innovating the innovation process. Along with shaping a knowledge hub that connects researchers with industry, Tel Aviv University is also in a unique position of being able to step back, study and improve the innovation cycle itself. We have an internationally reputed business school that researches and publishes extensively on technology management. We recently set up a research institute on venture capital, and we regularly bring in business leaders, policymakers, and regulators to lecture, many of whom are our graduates. We have given material and ideological backing to an outfit called Startau, which provides entrepreneurial seminars and networking for anyone on campus, in particular students, but also the wider community, with a business idea, so that those who have business idea can approach this Startau body and be mentored or guided. Actually, two monetary issues. One is, since the faculty members are part of the university and do the work on the grounds of the university with the infrastructure, all the intellectual property belongs to the university. Now, when we go to the commercial next step, which is the commercial step, hopefully, then of course investors come in, yes? And of course the role of the university and the inventor is being diluted, but this is always the case. Now there is a very, well-defined, I would say, split of revenues between the university and between the investors, and when the university gets its revenues, it's split with the inventor. Part go to the inventor, it goes to the inventor. What the university gets, part goes to the same faculty that the inventor came from in order to kind of refuel the system. This is the financial side of, if you are successful, who really gets rich, hopefully. The other question, or the other part is, it's very difficult to find at very early stages investors. And this is what I called here the Momentum Fund. The Tata Industry and Temasek and many others came in. And this is really something that I think this is an experiment that worked for us, that we managed to convince these big conglomerates and some private investors to invest in IP at very, very early stages. So this is trying to make the IP work, yes? And when it works, comes the first step that I described before.
Hello. Oh, sorry. Good evening. My question is there any ongoing program for not only student exchange between Tel Aviv and any other Mexican university, but maybe like an open internship program for anybody maybe that that's not attending university to go and work there? Would you in any of these startups, or the other way around?
So, of course, there's student exchange, and we have, by the way, we have degrees in English, and what you are asking, my understanding is that if you, as a private person, can come and be trained. We have programs from groups, for groups who come, yes? Because this is something that has to be tailor-made for the group which comes. We have groups, many of them that come from China, India, Singapore, Brazil, for instance. This is what I can remember now. These are groups of about 30, I would say, youngsters who are interested in developing their career. And this is a condensed training course for about 10 days. Part of it is, of course, visiting the high-tech ecosystem in Israel, companies that either started from patents of Tel Aviv University or others, and part is just formalizing the steps, or it's more like mentorships, from how you take an idea and how to start a business. So we have, within our business school, a very, I would say, well-lubricated system for training, but it doesn't work for individuals, it works for groups. Yes, so one organizes a group, they come, and it's actually quite effective. Okay, thank you very much.